Well, first of all, I'd like to thank all of those who send these wonderful messages of concern for my wife's uh, accident. But I thought I'd do this video blog because I was surfing through the net trying to find some form of justice, basically, for my wife. Because so far, because she's married and she has a husband, and a lot of responsibility has been put on me to do, well, to be responsible for her, basically. So I've wondered, if she was a single person, what sort of help would she get, basically? Because due to this accident, they have left her basically destitute, and we have spent all of our savings, etc., and everything. And lately, we've been trying to cash in all her life insurance policies. But we read a part of it that said that she could cash in 99% of her policy, and she could still retain her life insurance policy. So we decided to go for that one. But after a month later, we had to somehow scrape through Christmas, and we decided to phone them virtually, nearly a month. Well, it was a month yesterday, though. Today's the 14th, so it was basically yesterday. And they told us, well, they were still waiting for the response from her doctor to decide whether they could reinsure her again. So we said to them, well, this whole idea of cashing in a life insurance policy is that you need the money. So then, we said, well, we just have to cash the policy in immediately, and they're going to send us another form now, because for total surrender of a life insurance policy. But anyway, I was surfing the internet trying to see is there any way of obtaining justice from her, and I came across justice.org.uk, and I thought to myself, whoa, it sounds an interesting organization. But till I came across the address, it said like 59 Chancery Lane, London. And I thought to myself, well, that made me feel low for a start, because the city, well, anyway, so I decided to call them and give them a try to see what help they could give her for this injustice where, this massive company could drop washing machines on her from the height of 30 foot and forget that she ever existed after that. Not how she's managing to cope financially, or how is her medical situation, or anything. Basically, full stop. So anyway, I gave this number a try, and to my amazement, you know what? I came across was a recording that said, well, I can't get all of them again. That said, it's on their website. If you go for justice.org.uk, contact us. But on the message, on the phone message, it says like blah 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 blah, ring number 1 for this and that, etc. And the last one, or the second last one, said we don't cover any miscarriage of justice. We no longer cover any miscarriage of justice. So, it's a bit puzzling to allow them to use that name, justice. And they no longer cover the miscarriage of justice. So have they got the right yet really to use that name, while somebody else who's working hard to obtain justice for society in the UK couldn't use it because they have already claimed the right for it? But yet they're telling us immediately on the phone when you ring them that they don't cover miscarriage of justice. So do they have the right to hold that logo of justice? If they don't know the meaning of it and they don't cover it. I thought I made this video blog on this interesting thing I came across because it's starting to make me wonder, is there such thing as justice? That no wonder companies and insurance and solicitors can behave the way they do, because there is so little justice covering the individual in his time of need. It's alright having all these organizations and pre-action protocols, civil procedure rules, but none of it seemed to work. The solicitors are totally ignoring the fact because they know their punishment is so remote. The people that govern them, which is the law society, which virtually protects them. For those who think they want to phone the law society to complain, through my experience, I can say, watch what you say, because the law society is basically the ears for the for the solicitors that you're complaining about. Whatever you tell them, whatever information you got, will go back to the solicitors that you're complaining about. So, we have a twisted democracy at present. And, it's not every day that you're going to have to counter this. It's like it'll be probably once in a lifetime that you may have a major injury or something drastic happens between you and the local authority or whatever. And you will have to confront this situation, and you'll be astounded, that how corrupted the whole system is. And because it certainly surprised me that there isn't much justice out there. And people say to me, go to the press. The press don't really want to know when you're dealing with large multi-corporates, because that registers in their mind their bread and butter, and as for our legal system, where the thing is, basically, when you think of my wife's accident, we went shopping to get a few bits of food and some food and drinks, and have a quick look around the place, and bang goes all these washing machines dropping from 30 foot. But it changed our life in a second, basically. And now we're faced with a scenario that one would have thought, this incident happened in a massive company called Costco's. It's a multi-billion pounds corporate. You think as if they would have interests or feel sorry for the people, for the person that they dropped these damn washing machines upon. But no, not a single word, nothing at all. And between the solicitors involved that represent us, not a care in the world, as if like we didn't mean a thing to them. Because why? The legal system is basically so corrupted that they can behave anyhow they like, any way they like. In our case, basically, what our two solicitors, the last solicitor, after sacking the first, thinking, God help us, we've got away from this person that didn't understand the meaning of representing my wife, in the first, with a mild brain injury which she had for the first 6 months, I'm told by neuropsychologists in Queen Square, that it's crucial that she should have had rehab. The first solicitor never even met us. till basically a year after the accident. He couldn't care even if she was dying. And anyway, we managed to get rid of him, and thank God we managed to get the second firm, which was called Vendor Pumps and Sykes in Anfield. I think these people in Anfield should know this. To help us get out of this situation, to run along and get help for my wife, to get her some rehab, But no, unfortunately, this company or this firm end up worse than the first. They have managed to basically trap us into a situation to accept the defendant's expert witness, or we would lose the case, we're told. Of course, anybody in their right mind wouldn't accept the defendant's expert witness report. That is absolutely false. They were saying things in their report which wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. But of course, we refused. I refused to have it. I advised my wife to refuse to accept the expert witness of the defendants. And he went on he never even bothered to turn up for the application of the defendants to get this case dismissed. He never even bothered to turn up. Basically, because why? The scenario is, this firm has decided to take the can for Costco, So in other words, what they are really saying is that Costco could get away with what they've done because this solicitor failed to submit what was required, the expert witness, when proceedings was put forward. In British rules, I suppose, this had to be done. So that means any big company or any big firm who wants to get off the hook, who's willing to pay any firm of solicitors who are willing to take the can on behalf of them. At the end of the day, it all boils down to insurers. The insurance company that insures Costco, the insurance company that insures Vendor Pump and Sykes are probably maybe all the one and the same god, basically. But anyway, but what it annoys me is that the two solicitors has committed professional negligence. Basically, my wife should have a case against these two firms for professional misconduct. But there again, if they throw the case with Costco out completely, that means we only have them to sue for professional negligence. The way the legal system goes, that they can kill two birds with one stone. Basically, they know at the end of the day we could sue them for professional negligence. But while they're being sued for professional negligence, why not let Costco get away with it? Let's throw a spanner in the works and let it all happen. I believe I read somewhere, and got to do with the legal system where they call it all or nothing basis, where insurers go out for all or nothing, where they basically manage to corrupt the solicitors to the full to get them to commit and break all the civil procedure rules, all the pre-action protocols. At the end of the day, so what? The solicitors break every rule in the book, basically, and let the defendants get away with it by not submitting all that was required to submit. He's blaming me for refusing to accept the defendant's professional expert. That is why the case is thrown out, because we didn't accept them. To me, of course, we all know, it's stupid to accept the report that I've printed some of it, what they said on the net. But when you look at the logic of it, that fair enough, you can sue the firm for professional misconduct, but at the same time he's allowing the company, the multi-corporate that dropped these 4 washing machines, 2 of which fell from 30 foot, and hit an injured individual who was past an innocent person. Normally we take our grandchildren shopping there, but thank God they just wasn't with us that day. But think now, they just on that technical behavior, that cunning technical behavior, where they would bring the case to proceedings as served and then threaten the claimant that if they don't accept the defendant's expert report, then they would lose the case, And the thing is, what I can't understand is that the judge who threw this case out took the word of the defendants in their state, their application. It stated that we agreed to their professional witness, which is a total lie. Ace Europe and your solicitors, you're effing liars, right? And as for Costco, to think that you are insured with this bunch of tossers that are treating your customers in this manner is just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And what they have done is totally unforgivable. I thought I had to do this because I felt that when you go all down the road to find justice, and when you got, a big organization, justice.org, sounds pretty impressive, don't it? But it's not what the damn bloody website is on. It doesn't deserve the name that it's traveling under. Basically, if you're saying one thing and then when you pick up the phone and you get messages telling you, well, you don't cover miscarriage of justice anymore, well, what's the use of being there in the first place? I would suggest some people call them and listen to their wonderful, when you pick up the phone, what they've got to say. They must be overloaded with injustice in this country for them to be able to tell you from the very beginning that they're not going to deal with it anymore, So I feel, extremely worried about our society in the future. Instead of spending these billions on these wars we're having in the Middle East and whatever, worrying about everybody else's justice, when we've got a bloody website that represents justice, that tells you that they can't give you any more justice anymore, it's time to worry about ourselves, not about other people. I just find it absolutely appalling, and I hope that some of you all will take note about what is happening in the society you belong to. Thanks.